Welcome to a new episode of Roast My Ride, where we will be roasting your bikepacking setups, which might include touring and general carrying of stuff.
This is the most appropriate name for this video ever. Person name, human name.
Oh, number one, Oliver Packer. Is it real?
I don't know.
He says, I'm really enjoying your videos at the moment. They are the most relatable and real-world examples while still being well-produced and fun to watch. Thank you for producing content like this. Thank you for your nice comments.
Thank you for watching them.
Monsieur Packer. The specs of his bike are a Genesis Quad-a-Fur 20. Kinesis carbon fork, 11-speed, 105 mechanical with TRP hydro calipers, aluminium DT Swiss wheels with 32C tyres. Brook saddle, aluminium finishing kit, mixed parts, including aero bars for changing positions on the bike. Very sensible for extremely long rides. This was one of Jake Thorpe's choices recently.
What? Clip-ons?
Yeah, he's like the guy who we had on the channel recently who cycled 20,000 miles through the world, and he loves using clip-ons through the world.
Through the world.
Had to put ice down his jersey to get through.
Well, if it wasn't through the world, based on what you're saying, then it would be in outer space. So he's also a space cyclist. He was either a space cyclist or he has been through the core.
The benefit of clip-on aero bars is not just to be aero, but you have loads more positions to stick stuff on, or like a bottle in between them, because obviously there's not much space on the frame anymore because you've put a frame bag there and things like that. So extra positions, but also they're comfortable. It's a different body position for you. That's
somewhere else.
It's just somewhere else, because if you've been sat there for 6 hours on the hoods, on the drops, on the tops, it's just an extra option, isn't it?
It is.
And they're extremely cheap if you go for cheap ones. You can spend lots of money. You don't have to. You got the side loading bottle cage? No?
Not side loading.
No, they're not side loading.
Interesting, he's got a Kinesis fork, so I'm assuming he's done, that's like an aftermarket fork for that bike, for sure. Big fan of those mud guards, they look delicious. I would go SPDs. I would never ride road cleats on a bike like that. Just ever. And the main reason for that is the SPD shoe is just much more usable for getting around places.
Yeah, they're a tiny bit heavier, but I'm fully committed to off-road shoes now. And walking around and not...
That was annoying. Don't do
But
that.
exactly, you imagine how annoying it is every time you walk into a supermarket.
For everyone else.
Yeah, and for yourself.
Hate it when I walk into a supermarket.
Little food pouch, god tier bikepacking bag. Even if you just put your phone in it, so your phone's not in your pocket. It looks like one of those little chalk bags that climbers use to eat chalk. Yeah.
Why are they always eating
They're
chalk?
crazy, right? It's how you get super ripped and super strong.
Fingers.
Yeah, fingers.
Eating chalk.
Yeah,
It all goes
from
to
the calcium in it.
finger bones.
The rear pack is pretty old school, but clearly functional. There's a lot of weight. It looks like there's a lot of weight in that.
Mirror on the bars. I really want you did that in America.
Mirror
Not in
in the
America.
bathroom.
Didn't you do that in Australia?
Yeah.
I want that for my bike.
There's a weird little French company one that I used. The Beam. It was from The Beam EU.
Why are they a weird French company?
It's just a weird little thing, isn't it? It's a weird thing.
I think we did test one, like a weird Temu one, didn't we? I think.
Can't remember. Was it good?
Can't remember. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Quad-a-Fur from Genesis
Basically,
is regarded as the
first
first
gravel bike.
Yeah, interesting. Beyond, our rating system for this is,
Yes.
so for this one, a 10 is ultimate carry bike, and 1 is I couldn't carry a thing on it.
So that includes the bags. It's not that we're not rating the base frame, we're rating everything.
But
so,
the ability for it to carry you and your entire life from one country to another.
okay, well, he's going light. I hope he's only riding through hot countries.
That is a light setup, actually,
That's like a racing Audax, maybe, stamping a brevet card, want to get there faster. Don't carry too much stuff, but do carry enough that you have enough to like defend yourself from getting eaten by a cow or something.
Yeah.
A lot of people get killed by cows, you know.
in general.
More than
whilst bikepacking.
more than dying in plane crashes.
Number one killer for bikepacking.
Probably high up there.
Do you know why a lot of people get killed by cows?
Because they cycle too close to them when they've got little cows next to them.
Or just, well, it's actually because when cows are in a bad mood, it's really bad.
Oh,
Really bad.
but they're rarely in a bad mood.
Well, apparently not. They look all happy, but they're not. They're angry little things. They're not even little. They're big things. They're angry big things.
Behind my house there's a sign that says "Bull in field."
Oh, is there? Is there a bull in there? No, we've been in that and there was no bull.
Hidden cloak.
The bull?
Probably.
Or us?
No, we weren't wearing the invisibility cloak, but I reckon he would.
Okay.
If he was going to horn some people.
Well, that bike is kind of like the dairy cow of bicycles, isn't it?
What? The tiny udders?
Black and white.
Oh.
For maximum ultimate carrying capacity, I'm going to give this 7.5 out of 10. For cool bike, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
He's getting 6.5.
Are you laughing at his name? What are you doing? Have you gone mad?
Next up is a bike from Elmo.
Why is that so funny to you? He's what?
He's the red guy.
Is he red? Are you sure he's red? Isn't he blue?
That's the Cookie Monster.
Oh, it is the red one. That's Elmo without a space. This guy who has submitted his lovely bike is Elmo with a space.
Oh, so it's just Mo. The Mo. Here's my 1945 Swiss military MO5, made from 1905 to 1989.
It took him a very long time to make this bike.
Possibly the oldest mountain bike ancestor. I'm excited. 25 kg, single speed, spoon front brake, which literally is a on the tyre.
Oh, I love this.
A coaster rear, bread bag on the front, frame bag for documents, handgun, toolkit, binoculars, whatever else you need in your military operation, dynamo lights, and a silent free hub for military stealth.
Possibly the coolest break in history. Do you know what I used to love about riding bikes as a kid? Was sticking your foot on the back wheel to stop.
That's how you
and rubbing and literally ruining your shoes.
How you stop on a fixed gear.
And that's what that is. That's like how to do exactly that without ruining your shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
Look at the number plates.
This is honest. Oh, don't show that to the taxi drivers in the United Kingdom. They'll go, every cyclist should have a number plate like this one.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. That is so cool. I want that bike. Look how good the condition is as well. In terms of like cool bike, that is straight up 10 out of 10. That is mint. That is so cool.
I wonder how much Elmo rides it. I already know how that feels to ride. I feel like I'd be put off. But if you're riding to the shops...
Well, it's definitely not going to stop very well.
The flat ride to the shops.
Yes.
Also, with that weight, can you imagine how fast you pick up speed?
Okay, so the scale was carrying capacity. There is an increased carrying capacity to the last one, I would argue.
Big frame bag.
Big frame bag.
Custom tail fin frame.
Bread bag on the front, little gun holster, and then a rack on the back where you could carry a whole human if you wanted to.
Easy. You could put like 6 jimmies on the back of there.
I'm going to call that an 8 out of 10, but it is a 10 out of 10 for cool.
10 out of 10 for cool.
That's a museum bike, isn't it? That's the sort of thing you get as a collector and you stick it on your wall and you go, check out this cool thing I've got.
Gorgeous. Next one's from Adrian. Thanks for the videos. Always a pleasure to watch them. Thank you very much. I'm sending you my bike to roast in joy. This is the Mule. It used to be an XC bike, Sonder dial, changed the fork for a rigid one, and sold the dropper post. And now it's my trusty companion for commuting, gravel rides, and bikepacking rides. The components are Shimano brakes, SRAM group set, changed the grips for some Ergon ones. Thanks and keep up the good work.
I've got a lot of time for someone which just refers to parts of the group set by the top end manufacturer and doesn't even care about which models they are. A lot of respect for that. Also, the second bike now we've seen with a different fork, an aftermarket fork on it, which is...
It reminds me of the bikes they use for beach racing. Have you seen them?
Oh, yeah.
Something like Nicky Terpstra keeps doing on Facebook, on Instagram. There's pictures of him. They all have rigid fork mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And they do this mad beach race thing. I learned what the word Sonder means the other day. Do you know what it means?
You did tell me on the podcast, didn't you? And I forgot.
I think it was a chat before the podcast, so
it?
nobody knows.
Right.
I'll enlighten you.
Yeah, please do.
It is the feeling you get
I remember now
in
why we talked
situations
about it.
like when you're on a train and you go past a platform and see loads of people, it's the feeling you get that they all have intricate, complicated, and intense lives, just like your own. Every single person does.
Because I
Crazy.
then talked about the Welsh word hiraeth,
What does that mean?
which is not quite that, but it's in that sort of spectrum. It's a longing for home. It's kind of almost like being upset that it's gone, but being okay with that. Look at us.
Like nostalgia.
Sort of, but not quite, because it's like not negative, but you miss it. Whereas nostalgia is often a positive thing, because it's like, oh, wasn't that amazing when we did that thing? It was so cool. Whereas hiraeth is more like being sad that you can't go back to something that once was. But not in a I'm upset, but in a oh, I miss that.
Flat bar for long bike rides, and it doesn't look like there's any other options there. He hasn't put the little sticky out bar ends on. There's no aero bars. In my experience, flat bar for long rides is not always the most comfortable thing in the world.
You rode a mountain bike when we rode to Scotland, didn't you?
Yeah, mistake.
That was a mistake, definitely.
Mistake. I would just like, with the addition of just some clip-ons, you're having such a better time. Such a better time. So perhaps that would be my addition. Although that bag sticking out the front, you could probably just drape your arms
T-Rex it.
unsafely over the top. That would be good. Rear pack. Just looking at it makes me angry that Lawrence takes so long to pack his bike bags because he had one of those stupid rear packs. And not only did you have to pack it really, really carefully, but then you strap it on and then you watch it go like this because he's not done it up properly for ages. Maybe this is just Lawrence.
Well, it sounds like it's you.
What, getting annoyed?
Yes.
He's actually fine.
It's like, I'm looking at him filling his bag and putting it on his bike and it's wobbling around and I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, he's fine with it.
Yeah.
So get over it.
No, he's not fine with it.
Isn't he?
No, he's very angry about it.
He's angry about it as well and just lets it happen. Lawrence, sort your act out. Back to this. So, there is not loads of mounting points. There are some bags on here. Good use for a front bag, rear bag. Unfortunately, on the bike packing... Bear in mind, none of these people know that we are classifying their bikes as bike packing bikes, so they're being down...
He might just be riding to work.
Yeah.
He's just a commuter. He just sets up a tent in his office.
We have decided that this is a bike packing bike, and therefore he is getting rinsed by us unfairly. But it is what it is. It's what we're doing. It's what you're getting. That is a 4 out of 10, but it does look cool and it looks fun. I want to have a go on it.
Nice. I think that's more carrying capacity than the last one. I'm going to give that like a 7. Is that a wing?
Probably, yeah.
Similar
looks like-
style.
Yeah.
It's either a wing or a rip-off wing.
Or not a wing. Flat pedals. Plus point for flat pedals.
8 out of 10.
Woo!
Next one is from Annabelle. Love the channel. I'd appreciate if you could roast my ride. Getting roasted.
You know, if you don't say the slash when someone uses a slash, it kind of sounds a bit weird.
Like rate roast.
Yeah. Rate roast.
You sound weird. My bike is my primary form of transport. I don't drive. Same. So reliability and carrying capacity were key considerations. Also making sure my bike didn't look too nice, so I feel comfortable locking it up outside the grocery store. I've tried to use second-hand parts as much as possible to give them new life. Very sensible. My bike is an aluminium Merida Crossway 800 from the early 2010s that I've converted to an e-bike. The front fork is the original Sun Tour suspension fork, nice and strong for the 250 watt hub motor to bolt on. The motor is laced to a ride and a rim, while the rear wheel is Shimano Dior that came with the frame. Tyres are Schwalbe Marathon Plus, 35mm in the front, 38 in the rear. It's got brake cut-off sensors. I have that on the Omnium. Hot glue to the levers to work with the e-bike system. The handlebars and mountain bike flat bars got second hand, Truvative Huffelt stem, 250 watt hour battery with Samsung cells. Is that a lot of battery? Do you know anything about batteries?
I can't remember. When I spec'd that Omnium, it was so long ago, I can't remember any of the details on it.
I feel like it's a big ass battery. But this one's less. Which is the smallest I could find. The bottle cage-like battery holder makes it less conspicuous so it doesn't look like an e-bike. Again, another reason, I bet people steal them. I bet people try and nick stuff off e-bikes if they know it's expensive, or they think it's expensive.
To be honest, I think people try and nick all bikes.
All bikes. 170mm cranks, 3x9 speed, 105. Milk crate secured to rack for storage.
Ooh.
This is getting high points in the carrying category.
One of my favourite things about this video is trying to visualize the bike as it's being described,
and then revealing
seeing how far off we are. And it is a long way from where I was going.
Really,
in my mind.
really?
A very long way.
What did you imagine? Well, milk crates wasn't until right at the end.
Well, I was much more mountain bikey. That looks less mountain bikey than I had in my head. That's like a proper functional bike, isn't it? That's a get shit done bike.
Well, if you're carrying loads of stuff, electric just makes sense, doesn't it?
Is there an issue?
It makes sense always, but it's extra sense.
Is there an issue with front wheel power, especially 250 watts of it?
So, probably in terms of like frame warranty, yes. I think with the modern bikes you'll probably be fine, but essentially you're pulling the bike forwards and creating that kind of motion. So I guess there could be damage.
But I was actually thinking about power transfer, because obviously the handlebars, especially if it's a more upright position, has got a lot less weight on it than a rear wheel, and therefore there will be reduced traction versus the rear wheel.
Probably.
But there doesn't seem to be any issues here.
Nah,
So,
I reckon you're fine. It depends on the types of riding you'd end up doing.
yeah.
I've used one of those front wheel systems before,
Yeah.
and it was fine. And if the bike is heavier, generally, then it's going to work better. Fork probably adds a bit of weight, it helps.
We had one here, didn't we? That's this one.
Yeah, it's there, yeah.
Yeah. We did a video on it. I've used it as well. And it was fine. Can you hear the techno?
We rent a studio next door to a nightclub.
Sound check.
Sound check has begun.
Flat pedals. I'm loving some of the colour combinations, coordination between it. I'm a big fan of making things intricate and lovely and work for you. Little splashes of blue everywhere. That is going to be a very comfortable, very effective, very efficient bike that enables anyone to be able to do loads of stuff. And I wish there was more bikes like that in the United Kingdom, because there are too many cars and not enough people riding bikes. And that is exactly the kind of bike which would enable someone in the hilly northeast that we live in to be able to go and do so much stuff and not need a car.
I wish I had a milk crate on the back of my bike.
Yep,
Imagine how quick that's what Lawrence needs.
he does.
It would solve all of the problems in his life.
And then you need the e-bike to keep up with Lawrence. Okay, so the limiting factor on this is all of the mounting is coming from that crate, which, I'll be honest, is pretty efficient. I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10.
I agree with you fully.
Excellent.
And if you ever want to get rid of it, you could sell it to a milk person. Next up from Axel. Love the YouTube channel and podcast. Thank you very much, Axel. For my first disc brake bike, I wanted a gravel bike that was versatile enough to go fast, have fun in the woods, but also carry a lot of bike packing stuff.
Ooh.
I chose a Cannondale Topstone. Great bike. After checking that they now have more standardized everything, they advertise, they're like, the rear end is now, doesn't have to have a wheel with a weird dish and stuff. It's like their selling point. Good one, Cannondale. They've had us all. Frame? Actually, no, they haven't, because they've rightly been punched in the face about it numerous times over the years by everyone.
And have responded. So respect to Cannondale for doing that.
Kind of. The frame is a medium, 55 centimeters. It's got the new SRAM Apex Explore electric shifting, swapped out the wheels for Fulcrum Rapid Red 650Bs, tubeless, 50mm Pirellis, and swap the saddle for a Salitalia Flight Boost. Great saddle. The picture is from my first self-supported bike packing tour, 180k in 2 days, with a tent, sleeping bags, mattress, cooking gear, food. Bags are a mix of toe peak and restrap.
Oh, that is cool. Is he...
He's got everything on that.
Is that bottle full of water, or is it
just
full
the
of
pink?
Is it pink liquid?
I think it's a pink bottle.
I don't.
With clear liquid.
I think it's a clear bottle with a clear liquid.
No.
And that bike is so pink.
It just makes it look pink.
That is cool. I like that. Sandals on the back.
He's
as
got
well.
enough water to survive. He's got all the water that the people from the previous video we filmed didn't have.
Yes. Has he got pink valve cores? Oh, this is sick. That was really cool.
This is really good.
Those tyres are absolute beefy beefcakes in a good way.
One colour frame, black everything. Always a winner. Flip-flops on the back. Those sliders. Mm-hmm. Top tube bag with a zip. Zip, zip.
Zip, zip.
Put your bits in. Phone.
Testicles.
Jelly baby. All mixed in. Trail mix.
That is like straight up cool. It's a really nice pink shade.
How have Cannondale gone from worst paint jobs, world's worst paint jobs? Let's put fake dirt on it. Look, the Cannondale paint job is that, which is my bike that I haven't cleaned in ages.
It's almost
to the best. Pink and pink.
It's almost like at some point someone has said to them, your proprietary stuff and your colour schemes are absolute junk, and they've gone, oh, okay, maybe we'll change it. And they have. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
That is sick. That's very cool.
All we have to do is make our bikes £12,000.
So Emily's got a Topstone. She's had one for absolutely ages. I have ridden it because, as per most bikes, small bikes are too big, and the bike that Emily has is actually my size. It's a really good, fun bike to ride. It is great. That is a sick bike, and I love that colour. Very, very cool. Lots of mounting points. On our scale, though, yes, it's got a load of bags on it, but it hasn't got loads of mounting points. I'm expecting a bike with hardcore front. I want front racks, rear racks.
Oh, okay, you want racks.
I want racks everywhere. I want so much stuff on it. I want a Jake Thorpe style bikepacking rig. That's a 10 out of 10, isn't it? And this is pretty sick, and I like the bike. I'm going to give this 8 out of 10 because I like that colour so much. That's sick.
It's a 9 from me. Next up, we have Phil, who says, thanks for the podcast, one of the content highlights every week. I'm currently bikepacking from Portugal to Germany and want to share my trusty bikepacking bike. It's a Cannondale Topstone 2023, specialised short reach handlebar, zip service course carbon seat post, Ergon SR saddle, DT Swiss G1800s with a new DT Swiss shutter precision dynamo. Cool. 44mm Tufo tyres, tubeless. I've ridden 4,000 kilometres and not a single tubeless plug was necessary. Ooh. And you have cursed yourself for eternity. Dynamo is connected to the front and rear light, and if I switch the lighting off, I can USB charge. That is sick. Ortlieb quick rack, Nitto M18 as a front rack, cargo cages from Decathlon, top tube bag from Decathlon, frame bag from Tailfrin. The best frame bag I have ever owned. Happy roasting and keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Phil. Thanks for sending your picture. Right, let's look at the full setup first.
So this is the alloy Topstone. So it differs from the previous one that we've just seen. So this doesn't have that weird suspension-y thing in the rear triangle that the carbon Topstone does.
Does that Topstone just have a tiny bit of compliance? Is that the point?
Yeah, to be honest, I have no idea if it even does anything. It might just be classic Cannondale over-engineering.
It will do something. It will creak.
It doesn't even do that. Disappointingly, yeah. Doesn't even creak.
The front rack is cool.
This is actually what I was just talking about a moment ago. This is front rack, rear rack.
Everything.
All the shebang.
This scores high. Look at the size of the panniers on the back.
Yeah. It's a long distance he's covering as well.
Yeah.
This is amazing. It's going to be the 10 out of 10 bike for me. Dynamo setup, racks absolutely everywhere, tons of gears.
Great gears, yeah.
It's that does it all. It's even got some fenders.
Shifters that look like beluga whales.
Ooh, that's a negative, isn't it? They can be a bit uncomfortable.
Depends how much you like belugas.
They're fine.
Tailfin bag, he has clearly done the measuring calculator on their website. Got it absolutely spot on.
Side mounting bottle cages. It's 10 out of 10. Done. Completed. Thank you very much. That's the end of the show.
There's 2 more bikes, Jimmy.
Okay, cool.
We'll carry on.
We should carry on then. Let's do it.
Next up, we have a bike from Francois. Greetings from Cannondale. Cannondale? Why did you keep putting Cannondales in the document, Emily? Greetings from Canada. Love the podcast. I'd be thrilled to have my bike featured on the show. He is now thrilled. Here's my humble submission for your Rate My Ride. As a sort of midlife crisis gift to myself, I approached a local builder here in Montreal to make this bike for me. Cycles Tulip. The frame is Reynolds 853, the forks are Columbus steel, the bike has all the mounts I could ever need for gravel and or touring. I built around a Roloff speed hub and a Gates belt drive in conjunction with Gebler Robox internal mech, which allows you to use the Roloff with SRAM rival shifters. This is the coolest thing I've ever read in my life.
Have you noticed that all of that like internal stuff has like bonkers names?
Yeah.
It always has like properly
no, when you
bonkers
first,
names.
it's because we're always around Dura Ace and SRAM, High Road. We talk about it all the time. That's why they're all weird names,
Gebler Robox.
like Roblox, the game.
Roloff. These are all just names, aren't they? They're just people's names from different countries. I'm just being intolerant is what's actually happening, isn't it?
And it's somewhere in a far corner of the world, there's someone with a bike called a Jimmy Nipples.
Yeah. And there's
such a
someone
weird
going
name.
Like, so weird. But it is. You're right.
Forks, bottle forks. It's the one.
I've gone in a bit early on this 10 out of 10, haven't I?
You go to 11.
Sandals on the back, rear mount, oh, my brain, it's gone. Sandals on the back, rear rack, front rack, although it's not a drop down, bottles absolutely everywhere, things absolutely everywhere. There's probably even more mounts than we can even see. Oh, and it's that the planetary, that's very cool.
Blue straps.
To match the blue frame and blue stem.
Are they like voile or
Volley.
ski straps? Again, sliders on the top.
Literally just said that.
Well, I don't listen to you.
I quite like the little splashes of orange as well. That's sick. That's super cool.
Very good.
10 out of 10.
That is cool.
Piss off. 10 out of 10.
Imagine, I don't clean my bike anyway, but imagine how even less I would clean it if I had a belt drive.
It's weird because when I met you, you were like, I'm going to use the word anal.
I've matured.
Can I use that word on YouTube or will they censor it? They will censor it, won't they? Because they'll think we're talking about a different type of...
I'll put it in the hashtags.
Anale. If I say anale. You used to be very anale about cleaning your bike and now you're worse than me and I'm terrible.
Kevin says, recently picked up this vintage bike to be used as a commuter and touring bike. Almost all components are originals. Rims, leather saddle, racks, bottle cages, drivetrain. I've considered upgrading to more modern components, but I love the current old school vibe. I'd appreciate your impressions. P.S. Apologies for the tan-wall tyres, Jimmy. You don't need to apologise.
Especially on this
Kevin,
bike.
This
is where they live. Look how good that is.
With the blue. That colour blue.
Yeah.
It's just...
that's a 10 out of 10 bike. Do you know what?
If you're rating the packing... go on.
This edition of Rate My Ride has had some of the coolest bikes we've ever looked at. Like, if you actually think of the bikes we've covered, like that Swiss gun-holding bike, and then, this is sick.
It's because touring and bike packing is just better, isn't it?
Like, even all that was horrible cable routing all over the place. I love it.
That's not to be like bikeist to race bikes. Race bikes look better when they've got loads of bags on as well. They just do. I don't make the rules. It's like having a Les Paul with a Bigsby on it. So the Bigsby makes it look better.
The kind of weird thing is, I look at bikes like this and I go, I absolutely categorically love that bike and I want to be the type of person that rides that bike. But...
that would be uncomfortable for you.
I would not enjoy actually riding it because I have a particular type of bike that I like riding and it isn't that. And that really upsets me because I want to exclusively own that bike because that is the coolest bike I've ever seen in my life.
And it would become less cool if you change the group set bits to be like comfortable shifters.
Yeah, it would be rubbish.
It would be less cool if you put a Celitalia saddle on, which would be more comfortable.
It would be less cool if you put a modern frame pump that actually works.
People wear clothes that are uncomfortable but look cool. Same thing.
But I think it's a mentality thing. I think if you are riding bikes to enjoy the journey, completely based on enjoying the journey, you are going to have an amazing time on that bike. But I just can't help myself when like today's a great example of it. Commuting into work, and I'm just like, I'm just going to take my time, nice and chill. And before I know it, I'm looking down, it says 340 watts. And I've got a bike that tells me how many watts I've got, which is already a bad sign for why this is not the right bike.
So what you're saying is your brain has been poisoned.
Yes.
And you've been permanently, maybe not permanent.
No, not permanent.
Yeah. We could get one of the Norwegian people to punch it out of you. And that was in a different episode, so that makes no sense to anyone. There were some Norwegians, they're going to beat up Jimmy. Long story. Go watch the other episode, the race bikes. And on that note, 10 out of 10, you bastard. That's the end of today's show. If you would like to send in your bike, send them to ratemyride@cademedia.co.uk and we will see it, hopefully.
Consider it, maybe.
We will let Emily go through 1,000 million emails and choose the best ones.
Thank you very much for your submissions. We do very much appreciate them. And it's nice to hear that you enjoy the content that we make. So thank you for that as well. Come on.